Hello. I want to make this post about dermoid cysts because there is not enough information or personal experience that you can find with dermoid cysts. And a lot of people don't even know what they are. And I think when somebody says they have a dermoid cyst, um, everybody else just says, "Oh, I've had those. They pop." Well, no, those are different cysts. Like these do not pop. They do not go away on their own. Um, they aren't. They're scary, but there's not they're not necessarily dangerous or anything. So what a dermoid cyst is also called teratoma. It's a Instead of being filled with fluid, it's like one of your egg cells in your ovary would start trying to, I don't know if it's trying to create like a person without a sperm, or I don't know, but it's like overactive. And a cyst that's a dermoid cyst will have stuff in it like sometimes muscle or teeth or bone, or I've heard they can have thyroid tissue. And they grow inside your ovaries. And it's real scary to think about, but they don't, if you'll read anything you hear about dermoid cysts, they don't affect fertility necessarily. So anyway, my story started when I was about 16. I was feeling some pain on the left side, and I had an ultrasound and I had examinations, and nobody found anything. And it was big enough for me to feel through my skin on my hip bone, like near my hip bone, but nobody could ever see anything on an ultrasound for some reason. So anyway, my periods were always regular. I did and still do have 28, 29-day cycles. So I guess I just kind of, I guess we just played it off as something weird. Nobody believed that I had anything there, and so I kind of dropped it. And over the next few years, the pain just kind of went away, or maybe I just got used to it. I don't know. So when I was 18, I had my first daughter, and she was a surprise pregnancy, obviously, and everything was fine with the pregnancy and the birth, and it was a normal birth. And, after that, just normal life for a while. And fast forward 10 years to when I was 28, I had my second daughter. So that's 12 years past when I started feeling the pain. And I ended up having a rough birth, and it turned into an emergency C-section. And while I was laying there getting, cut open, I heard my doctor say, "This needs to come out right now." And I didn't know what he meant, but it kind of scared me. And then I had to be put under for another reason. I couldn't breathe, and so I didn't know what he was talking about. And the first thing I said when I woke up was, "Is my baby okay?" Of course. And then after that, my second question was, did I have a hysterectomy? Because I thought for sure when he said something needs to come out, that's what it was. Well, turns out it was a dermoid cyst on my left ovary where I'd always felt that pain and that lump. And it was the size of a grapefruit or a softball. And my ovary apparently wasn't working, but the other one took over for it, which they tend to do. So that was that. And he told me I wouldn't have any trouble getting pregnant when I wanted to in the future, not due to that at least. And, I went about life. My cycle went back extremely normal, like it always was. And I assumed that everything would be fine. And then I had, well, fast forward again to, let's see, 4 years later. And we started trying to get pregnant in October. And in November, I started having pains on my right side. And they were pains around ovulation time, they seemed to be. And I was charting, and I know that I'm ovulating. So I'm like, well, maybe it's some kind of cyst. So I went to the doctor, and it took until, I think, January for them to do an ultrasound, and they found a cyst, but they said they thought it was a simple cyst. And it didn't go away, and it didn't go away, and I kept having the pain. So I went back, and they decided to do a laparoscopy. He said he would drain it in March. So at the very, very end of March, I had a laparoscopy and they tried to drain it, and when they stuck the needle in, he said he could tell it wasn't, a solid or a fluid filled cyst. So he took a little sample of the fluid that was in it, and he tested it, and they told me it's another dermoid cyst. Now it's small, but so now I have the problem of having a dermoid cyst on the only ovary that I have. I did get pregnant, as you know, I've said in other posts. It took me a year and a half. I almost got pregnant and lost the baby at 22 weeks, but that had nothing to do with the cyst. And they don't think that the cyst was the reason that it took me a long time to conceive, because they don't really affect that usually until they get very large. And so now my dilemma is what to do now that I've lost the baby and the cyst is almost 5 centimeters and I'm still having fairly normal cycles. I think any abnormality is due to just giving birth and losing the baby. But I really don't know what to do, because we're going to see a fertility specialist in December next month. We're going, and she's going to hopefully give us an idea of what the best option for us is, since we do still want to get pregnant again. And I don't know, getting the cyst removed scares me because they're cutting into my only ovary. But not getting it removed scares me too, because then it could grow. They grow very slowly. So, I mean, I have that. Usually they grow very slowly, and mine hasn't grown very much in the last 2 years. It's been, maybe like a 1 centimeter. I don't really know. But I'm just not sure what to do. And I was hoping, I could find maybe somebody that had had a similar experience, and, good or bad. I just want to know. So, anyway, so that's my big thing right now, is wondering what to do about that. And of course I worry about it. And this one hurts more than the other one. So, but I mean, I don't know why. And actually, I say I don't have an ovary on the left, but recently when they did an ultrasound, they did find that I have ovarian tissue over there. I don't know if it produces eggs, but hopefully it at least produces hormones. I was kind of excited to hear that, and they said it's actually decent. It's a little smaller than a normal ovary, but it's actually like a decent size. So he said that when the doctor did take it out, he must have left some. Now, I didn't, that wasn't ever told. He told me he took it out, so I just assumed I had one. Anyway, well, I'm going to leave it at that. If anybody actually listens to this and has the same experience or a similar, or any advice about getting the dermoid removed or not, respond, tell me, whatever. And I guess I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.